So in Kotlin, we can declare something as nullable and non-nullable, which basically allows us to eliminate null pointer exception in our code. So here, for example, I'm declaring a variable as first name. Here, I haven't assigned any value yet, but by default, this is a non-null. So here, similarly, last name, I'm also declaring as a non-nullable type. Here, middle name, I am declaring that this variable can hold a value of type null by adding this question mark. So basically, here I have a function called print name, and what this does is it's going to print this variable, whatever value that I have assigned to it here. Same thing with last name, but when it gets to line number 20, I'm checking to see if the middle name, if I have assigned a value of null there. And if I have, I'm going to just print this statement saying a person does not have a middle name. And if there is any other value instead of null, then I'm just going to print out whatever I have assigned. So for example, let me comment this section out for a second. If we run the above code, here first name is Junaid, which is correct because that's what I have assigned to that variable. Same thing with last name, that's what I have assigned to the variable. But when we get to this line, number 20 here, as you can see that it says person does not have a middle name, and that is because I am doing my conditional check here to see if middle name is assigned to a value of null somewhere in the code above, and which is correct. So for example, let's change this. So right now, let's change this null to let's actually assign a value to the middle name. So I'll put John. So if you were to guess that, now it will run this part of the code, which will print out the person's middle name. You are correct. So let's run this part. And we can see that right now it runs through this code and it checks if middle name is null. In this case, it is not. I actually have an actual value that I have assigned to it, which is a string. So it skips, it runs through this, it says, oh, it's not null, let's continue running the code. Then it comes to this line, number 21, and which is the only part of the code that's left to run, and which is correct. If it's not null, just print this, whatever the person's middle name is, just pass that in, and that's what it is doing here. I have a comment here called not null assertion operator. So this operator allows you to force a null pointer exception if you want to, and we will see this in use later on. It does become handy when you work with data. Maybe if you are calling a method on something and for some reason that data can be a null value, you might want to force a null pointer exception so you know that that value is not there. So let's see here, I'm going to change middle name back to null, so it should force a null pointer exception letting us know that that value does not there isn't an actual value there. So here, exception in main thread, Kotlin, null pointer exception, line number 29. It tells us exactly where that exception is, and it is in this part of our code.